Hello and welcome back to the Devine Witch Podcast. And today we're doing a little bit early. I'm recording this on a Wednesday, but I figured, I've got a lot of stuff going on this weekend between my business and with the Embracing the Feminine event that we're doing this Saturday. So since, we always go over what is going on behind the scenes here at the Devine Witch, I'm going to tell you guys exactly what we got going on, what you should expect in the future, whether it come to our events or to this channel. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this weekend's event, the Embracing the Feminine. Now, I've been calling this event Embracing the Feminine, Embracing the Divine Feminine, but all in all, it's all the same when it comes to this event. This weekend, we have put together a beautiful panelist of strong women within the pagan community, different age ranges, different paths, and they each do something a little bit different, whether it's running a group, running a shop, or just being out there in the community, doing their part and trying to spread love, awareness for our Ohio pagan, witchy, occultist community that we got here in the Ohio Valley. So with that being said, people are wondering, what is this event about? Right now our numbers are small for the event. So I kind of want to, show you what we're doing. This is a 3-part event. We've got the feminine, the masculine, and the in-between. Now, during Beltane, we had some of our youngsters, our wee pagans, our new witches, as some of them may call, but I prefer not to use that term. I say it that they are on their journey, the start of their journey into paganism, witchcraft, and the occult. So, with that being said, they wanted to know more. They wanted to see the differences between those in the community. Plus, as you know, at that point in time, Roe versus Wade hadn't been overturned. It was something on everybody's mind. And, we wanted more representation of the female pagans in our area. What are they doing? What's going on? What are they seeing? How are they feeling? How are they doing during this time, especially since Roe versus Wade has been overturned? And it's not only about political, but it's also about, the things that we face within the community, some of the things that we see that we want to change in the community. And also, most importantly, what the event is really centered about is how we view the divine feminine and how we embrace it within our lives, within our past. What does it mean to us? Because it is different from individual to individual. Over the last few years before COVID, there's been this change in how we view sexuality and how we view gender. And it's even seeped its way into, our different paths. Some people don't want to use the terms she, they, them, you know what I mean? And they just want to focus on the energy itself. But also we've got the energy to where it's, we consider masculine strong, but the feminine is strong as well. We consider, feminine, to be able to be compassionate and caring. And, the same is true for the masculine. Now, when we get into the in-between is those that don't define the gender norms, that break those spectrums and the religious practice around them, and the gods and goddesses and spirits that don't follow that certain recipe that we can show, what those paths look like, the people that work with those paths as well. And that's kind of what we got going on over here when it comes to this event. Like I said, it's a 3-part event. So we will have one in September. We will have one in October. So for this weekend's event, it is at 1 p.m. at Smith Park in Middletown, Ohio. Just look for the Devine Witch sign and you'll know you made it to where you need to be. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's move on to the other things that have been going on behind the scenes, because it does change daily, weekly, minute to minute when it comes to us and the things that we do over here and what we do within our community. Because, when the gods open up a road, or the universe or the fates You know, sometimes you get the opportunity to seize an opportunity or to avoid an opportunity. And we've had a lot of opportunities to seize. So with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about those opportunities. So one of the things that you guys know is that we like to partner with other groups within the Ohio area, and we try our best to create a community to where it's not segregated, it's complete, and it's integrated, right? Even though we may not be holding their events, stuff like that, we do try to partner with other groups to showcase, because here at the Devine Witch, it's not only about us. It's about other paths. It's about other ways of thinking. It's about introducing those ways and not pushing one path or another. And that's the beauty of the community, because, you know, we, like we say here on this channel, no two witches witch alike, and no two pagans, no two occultists have the same views when it comes to certain, you know, practices, whether it's a circle casting, whether it's ritual working, whether it's how they communicate with the spirits, to the gods, to the elementals, and everything in between. So we try to showcase that. We do open ourselves when it comes to Witch in the Woods, especially, you know, for different rituals to be seen, not just, you know, Greek or whatever it may be. We try to be diverse and open that up. Many of you have seen over the past Witch in the Woods that we actually had a gentleman that I know as Brian Edwards. I love him to death. He is a brother from another mother, and he is a fellow Hecatean like myself, but he's more in the Dianic tradition, more of a ceremonial magic type of gent. And he is very straightforward, which is why I love him so much. We are trying to get him to come out to at least talk about his stuff, but right now he is transitioning in his life, so that may not happen this year. But that's what I wanted to kind of showcase. Like, his ritual style was very angelic-ish, very focused on Latin, in terms of like when they're speaking the rituals. Now this year we are changing it up. We are doing an opening ritual this year, and it's going to be brought to us by Roger and Heidi. They are part of the Runestone Heathens of Ohio. I will make sure to link all their information below, so that way if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. Now the ritual they got, from what I've seen, is going to be beautiful. So as you guys notice, we are switching into the Witch in the Woods dynamic, because that's going to be the next event after the Embracing the Feminine. So like I said, we are going to have an opening ritual, which will happen at 1. Gives everybody time, because, you know, this year, unlike previous years, we're starting our event at noon. Isn't this freaking amazing? Because we've pre-planned. We've grown as a group. We decided that all of our staff, all of our volunteers and everything show up the day before and get ready for the event for the next day. So that way we can start it earlier. We can have more hours of spirituality gathered and information to be spread. And with that being said, our numbers for this event have skyrocketed to the point to where we have not one space for Witch in the Woods. We have 2 spaces. And next year, it's looking like we're just going to take out all the group campsites and make it bigger and better. But this year, we have officially ran out of camping spots. Now, even though we do have 130 some camping spots available to us, we have to be smart about how we place things and how many we accept. Currently, we have 85 campers. That is our max out for this event. For the reason being, we are trying to save room for vendors, presentations, rituals, maybe to park some extra cars as well. So, you know, we're limiting how many people can actually camp on the sites. Plus this year, unlike any other year, we have a adults only section. Now you don't get to camp in this adult only section because, you know, even though we are the Devine Witch, this year we've got to be a little bit choosy with how we place people, for the reason being that even though we have volunteers, even though we have a great staff, we want to be able to keep an eye on everything to ensure safety and to ensure less uncontrolled chaos. Now, we love controlled chaos, but not uncontrolled chaos. So what is this section of adult only? This is a spot for you to go to relax, get away from everything, recenter your chi if you need to. Maybe celebrate in whatever which way you choose to celebrate. And that way little pagany eyes won't be there. The main spot is going to be our family friendly section. This is where we're going to be doing all the event stuff at. And then the other section during the day, I think we're going to make it to where it's a calm place for everybody to go. And then once, you know, the nightfall hits, then it becomes an adult section. So I will have to fix that in the event. Just because we want to give people their space, give them somewhere where they can communicate. I love both the spaces. They're both beautiful spaces. You know, we're trying to figure out this new dynamic because we've never had two spaces at one time for an event. We've never had an outpouring for Witch in the Woods like this. Like, it makes me so excited. It makes me happy because, you know, when we started Witch in the Woods, it was just an idea for free camping, a ritual, and just everybody coming together, sharing a meal. And now it's exploded to presentations, vendors, 2 rituals, and much more. Like, it's totally become its own entity. And for me, I love it because we can showcase different paths. We can showcase different local vendors who may not have had the chance to get out into the community, and this would be their first event. This is a place where we can showcase, you know, the different thoughts. So if baby witches, if they like to call themselves, or new journey witches, would like to come and see what it's about. And one thing that I think is funny that we've had, and I've actually had to shut down the comment post for others as well, just so we can keep it in line, so the stuff that we are putting out there actually reaches who it needs to reach. Because everybody is second guessing themselves, which we all do when it comes to events. Like, what color cloak should I wear? Is this a new pagan friendly event? It's an event for everyone. You wear what you feel comfortable wearing. When we say cloaks, wear what you want, wear what you got, wear what you can find. You know, if you want to wear one that is going to go with the chakra ritual that we have later in that evening, which I will be hosting. It's a little bit of a Hellenistic twist, but it's not too overbearing to where we're pushing Hellenism on you. We believe in also making it to where everybody can join in our ritual, instead of making it just, you know, the Hellenistic community coming together, you know what I mean? So it does have some Hellenistic vibes. When it comes to the calling of, you know, the directions and a few of the other things along the way. We're going to be traveling through the chakras, end up in a meditation setting where we let go of what we don't need in our lives and get visions of what we do need to bring into them. So it's going to be personalized for everyone, and it's going to be an interesting experience. But with that being said, you know, there's a lot of questions when it comes to the Witch in the Woods. Like, what do I bring? What do I need? Well, you know, we provide a list. We provide the list, you know, to kind of give you an idea of what to bring. When it comes to, if you're making anything homemade food, always make sure to include a list of ingredients, because we always think about safety. People have allergic reactions. We don't want no one to get hurt or, you know, anaphylactic shock or anything like that. So we try to make it to where it's accessible for everybody. Another thing that we are changing this year is emergency contact forms. It is a new concept over here when it comes to Witch in the Woods. So, excuse me, that was gross. But the reason we're doing this is so that way, if something were to happen, God's forbid, we're not putting it into the air, but if something were to happen to where someone got hurt or did go into anaphylactic shock for some reason because they got something that they weren't supposed to or didn't know, we have information, and that information doesn't stay with us for now on. As soon as you leave, you take your paper with you, and bon voyage. It's just a precaution. Everybody's going to have to fill out one, and if they can't handle it, well, we can't have you at the event. For the reason being, we want to make sure everybody is safe. And if something were to happen to you and we let you stay at the event and you didn't fill this out, then guess what? We don't know what to do for you besides ambulance, whatever it may be. And we have no clue who to contact in your family, nothing. And we don't want that around, the event. We want to be able to be confident, be able to make you feel confident and safe within your environment. So just so you know, those are the things that have kind of changed with our event. Still the same style. Now we will have people signing up at the booth. So whether you're camping or whether you're not, you're going to sign in. And this way we can ensure, one, when you sign in, we can actually take you to where you're going to be camping instead of you trying to figure out a spot, because realistically, there's order to how we have to do this since we have so many people. We can't guarantee you're going to be by your friends unless you show up with your friends and you all check in at the same time. We put that out there to everybody, but we're going to put that out there into the universe for you to hear again. We can't guarantee you're going to be by your friends. This isn't going with your friends to go to a camping trip. This is Witch in the Woods. That basically means strangers, you and your friends mingling together as one. We are a community. And I know sometimes, it makes us feel safe when we can be by our friends. But if you and your friends do not show up at the same time, we cannot help you. So just keep that in mind when you're coming to this event. So with that being said, I think I've pretty much covered everything. We do got some stuff that we are going to be releasing for Witch in the Woods 2022, such as pre-orders on t-shirts, which will be starting next week. And if you get those pre-orders, all of this is going to lead us up to, dun, 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 we are wanting to have a Yule event. Now, I created the event and put it out there into the ether to get everybody's mind wondering and thinking about it, because we're halfway to the holidays, baby. So with that being said, what does this mean? What does it look like? Yes, I have an idea of where to have the spot for the vending event. Now, when it comes to the funds to make this possible, we are doing multiple different avenues. One of the avenues that we are doing is through our Patreon, where people donate each month to help us put on events for the community. Then we've also got the Witch in the Woods shirts. Part of the funds go to cover what it costs to make the shirts. The other part goes to the Yule event. That is free, that is open to the community, and that we will be paying for the spot with. Now, we've also opened it up to where we can have sponsors this year. Shop sponsors, group sponsors, $100. That basically means you get this big bulb with your logo hanging as one of our decorations, and to show the community, which it will also be announced as well, that you helped make this event possible for the pagan community. Another one we're going to have is vendors, such as crafters. It's $50. You're going to come in, you get your own table, you get to set up, and you get a poster of your shop that you can take with you when you leave. For our readers, we're going to have some little informational packets for readers, because the readers are $20. It's our lowest package that we give, and you get something back during it as well. Now, everybody's like, why so high with the prices? Well, let me tell you. Okay, so the spot that we're looking at is located in Middletown. It is family friendly, because that's one of the things that we always try to do. Make it family friendly when it comes to Saturnalia, Yule, whatever you wish to call it, when it's the holiday around that season. And we want to make it to where there's enough room for people to enjoy themselves, and also make it to where we got money for decorations, money for food, so forth and so on, because we want to make it easy for everyone. Excuse me. Now, we have thought about the idea of having it in a place where liquor can be served, but realistically, that would limit the age limit depending on where we do it. Plus, that depends on the location, because before we had it at the Night's Inn, or a game night. Sorry about that, not the Night's Inn, a game night. And unfortunately, they are closed. They are no longer operating. So that is not an option. But we did find a good ballroom. The prices are pretty decent. We're looking into acquiring that space. We can acquire 1/3 of it or all of it. If we acquire all of it, it's 300 people it can hold. If we acquire part of it, it'd be 100. I would like to at least get 2/3, because that's our 200 space, right? So if I go with that one, with the prices that I'm getting estimated, because they've been redoing their ballroom, it's about $150 an hour. Okay. So we're going to do a 3 to 4 hour event. So we're looking about like what, $600 if we do 4 hours. So that's for the space alone. Plus it goes back to the community. You know, they do a lot of things for the elderly and things like that. They've just opened up their area for vendors as well. I'm not charging vendors anything during the summer months. So this area that we're choosing does a lot for the community, and we know where the funds are going. So I'd rather spend $600 for that than line someone's pocket that's not doing anything for the community with that $600. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to have that. Then we're going to have decorations for that type of space to hold 200 people. We're probably looking about to maybe $300 just in decorations alone. But the good thing about that is we can use them year after year, and we don't have to keep on buying into it unless something happens to those decorations. Now, with that being said, then you got food costs. Food costs, we're probably looking about at least a couple $100 if we're savvy and we keep it finger light food that you can pick and go. Something simple, not something where you have to have a crap ton of plates and everything else. Make it grab and go, because it's a fun light event. You're going to be dancing. You're going to be enjoying the vendors. You're going to be having a good time. And fingers crossed, we are trying to work with a nonprofit organization as well to have them come in. This nonprofit works with kids in the foster system. They help them get the basic stuff they need. They help them get suitcases. They also help them get toys for their birthday, toys for Christmas. This is the organization that we want to pair with at this event. That's why we're making this event free for you guys. That's my pug, by the way. That's why we're making this event free for you guys. Because one, we always try to make our events free. We're not here in the business of making money. If that was true, I wouldn't be still doing this, because in the beginning, I used all my money to do this. And now I'm getting help from the community and our online community as well. So, you know, it's great. And my wallet thanks you all, because it can get expensive, as you guys know. But with that being said, that's why we're keeping this event free. One, we want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting us throughout the year. Thank you for welcoming us into the community and helping us thrive and wanting to see us succeed. We also, our goal is, if we can get them to come in for this event, when we have it, we are going to take whatever funds we've got left from this event, plus what I get from my Patreon every month, combine it together, and along with that, allow you guys, if you want to, you can donate to them, whether it's $1, $5 or more. It's your heart's desire. And we want to donate at least a good $300 to $400 from us to them, not including what you guys wish to give to them as well. And the reason we want to do this is because we've all been in that situation where we weren't able to afford a gift. We've all been in that situation where we've known somebody who's been in the adoption game, so to speak, where they've had kids come in and they've seen the troubles they went through. And most of these kids, you know, they have trash bags that they carry their stuff with. So, you know, by helping them, we help them get more resources so that way they can do more for those kids that are in need. And that's what it's about. For me, I grew up as a kid that didn't get much. I was lucky to get a few things every year. I was lucky enough to, you know, even if it was used, I at least got something for myself. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to personally give back. Not only that, my business partner, she's also in adoption right now with 2 boys. So, you know, this is a spot that, you know, is close to me, and I want to be able to give back. I want it to show that our community cares, because you guys, if you don't know, there's a lot of times where we will get denied giving different things away, whether it be clothing, whether it be food, whether it'll be, well, food, not so much because we got shared harvest, but and plus we can reach out in the community, see what people need. But when it comes to clothing, it comes to toys, stuff like that, we have literally called shelters around our area and been like, what do you need? This is our organization. How can we help? And then tell us, guess what? We have all we need. Don't worry about it. Or I'll have our director call you and we never get a call. And then we'll see posts about them asking for donations. So if you don't think there's discrimination within the surrounding community, you're blinded. But we are trying to expand that and stop it from happening. So that way we can do our part, because the pagan community, witch community, spiritual community, whatever you want to call it, we have big hearts and we love to give. And, we've all seen it. We've seen people come together when people have surgeries and offer to get them meals. We've seen it when, shops need help and they're asking for a few hands on deck. We've seen it when we've watched people in our community lose everything they got or need help moving from a different spot. We've always been there when we need it the most. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to continue to do. And we want to show that it's not the fire and brimstone and the cackling in the middle of a moonlit night that you always see. It's more than that. And some people still think that way, even though for us, it seems like, how can you? And that's what we're working to change. Now, I will say this. We did have Festival of Faith reach out to us, which, if you know, it happens August 7th. The only thing that I have the issue with this is getting a ride there, because my husband works. He has a new job and he works on Sundays, and the time that I would have to be there is the time he would be at work. So I'm trying to find a way where we can participate in that to expand our outreach a little bit. So, that's one thing that if I can find a way, we will be there. If not, it is, excuse me. That way we can represent our community and maybe start working with some other different faiths as well. Because interfaith, we've been growing towards that. We did some things with Oxford a while back when we did the Guide to the Gods, which is an event that everybody liked, and we will try to do it again, but we want to showcase all different gods for the next round. So, we'll have to be digging for the next 6 months or so, but it is something that we are contemplating on doing. I just want to put that out there as well. So that's pretty much what I got when it comes to all this Devine Witch stuff. Like, I got a lot going on. I'm trying to do all these things. I've gotten to the point to where I've got Post-it notes and they're all color coded. So like my Devine Witch stuff is my blue, my business stuff is my pink. And then my purples, personal notes. Like, eventually it's going to grow and it's going to look like a beautiful mind over here at the Devine Witch channel. And yeah, speaking of the Devine Witch channel, there is some things that I do want to update you on. We will start doing interviews within the community. It's something that I've wanted to do, but like I said, and I've talked about, there's a lot of things that I do. So it's finding the times that work and trying to get the right, medium to where it can showcase. I don't like using Zoom when it comes to these podcast styles, because Zoom is very glitchy. It may not look good. It may look good at the moment, but not look good when you upload it. So it is one of those things where we have to do interviews in person. I am looking to expand that as well, to try to show, our community and others around us as well. When it comes to different information, the kind of things that you guys want to see, whether it be in a podcast style, whether it be an interview style, or whether it just be a discussion or, a demonstration. You guys can always email me at thedivinewitch@gmail.com. It's spelled just like the channel's name, and it's all lowercase. None of it's capitalized. I'll have that down below as well. And you guys can reach out. Tell me what you want to look at. Also, another thing that I want to do here on these podcasts, Fridays, Saturdays, whenever I get to upload a days, I want to start taking your spiritual questions. Like, if you guys have questions about your path or something that you've seen that you can't wrap your mind around, you can send those questions to my email, and we will start answering questions here every Friday or Saturday when I upload it. And that's way we can communicate. We can try to expand with each other. If it's something that I don't know offhand, I'll go research it, or I'll reach out to my spiritual system and find out what information I need to get for you to help you out as well. Because, together it's a networking experience. No matter how long you've been in the path, you can still learn new things, which is one of the things that surprises me when it comes to us as a community. Like, sometimes you don't want to think that you can learn more, and then something happens and then you're like, what's this mean? And then you start asking people and they're like, I don't know, maybe it means this, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, well, I guess it's another unsolved mystery, you know what I mean? Cue the music. But sometimes if we work together and we expand our reach, if I don't even know the answer to your question, someone down below in the comments they might have shared the same experience. And that's kind of what I want to grow this channel to be. I haven't really done much readings live because I've been busier than hellfire, so to speak. And I've been trying to do that so that way we can talk, we can chit chat. If you want a reading, you can get a reading. That's one thing I do. It's one thing that I did during COVID. I did a bunch of readings, a bunch of lives, and now that the world is slowly starting to come back to somewhat normal, I'm out and doing more. But I try to have these communications with our online community, so that way I can be like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what we're doing. This is where we're at. If I haven't seen you guys in a while, I'm sorry. If I have seen you, just know that, I love the interactions that we have, because you guys helped me spiritually and mentally deal with COVID. And I know I did the same for you. So it's one of those things where, we're expanding. It's not just Ohio. We're global at this point. We have people from Australia, people from England, people from Cali, people from Florida. Like, I think at one point in time we had Norway and we had Canada. Like, we're a little bit of everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And I know time zones are a little bit crazy and wonky at times, but we're working with it. During the winter, I do want to attempt, keyword attempt, to do a 24-hour live. I did a live a while back that was like, what, 12, 14 hours, something like that. That was rough. That was rough. So there's going to have to be a lot of coffee, a lot of unboxing kind of things going on to keep my mind going. Maybe have some guests pop up and talk to them on the channel. I'll see what I can work out, because, around that time, holidays are a thing, and prepping for different events as well. And my sanity. I think that's a thing too. Like, try not to do too much, but always trying to do more than what you have, which I always get told, you're doing too much. You need to take a break. But my mind's like this, like, if I'm not doing something, then what am I doing with my life? Every moment, every second of my life, there has to be something to do or something to reach towards. Like, it's okay to have a break every once in a while, but realistically, we're not guaranteed time. And I want to impact as many lives as I can, as much as I can. When it comes to outreach or discussions, or just to get to know people. Like, that's the great thing about insomnia. It gives me enough time to do whatever I want. And then when my battery goes low, I just shut down and then I revive. It's like charging the dildo in your nightstand. Eventually it's going to die, but if you recharge the bitch, it'll come back. And that's kind of how I see my energy level. You know what I mean? It's either keep on going until you got that last little nib, or just charge it up here and there. So, yeah, great analogy, but I know some people are laughing their ass off. The hubby over here is like, oh my God. But that's how I see it. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I go for a long time, but eventually I need a break in between, whether it's a day, 2 days, whatever. And with me doing as much as I do, it helps me in my own mental health, which sounds fucked up, but it does to an extent, because it allows me to feel like, okay, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to get set up. I know what's coming and what's not coming. Sometimes my brain gets a little chaotic. That's why I started doing this beautiful mind post-it note thing that I got going on here at the bottom of my screen. Just so, because I do so much, sometimes my brain just flatlines, and that's when my battery's low, right? So this helps me while I'm trying to recharge my battery, have moments away, which is so funny. It always seems like whenever I'm ready to have a day off, that's when the chaos of the world comes at me. And the hubby's seen it, friends have seen it. I've had people be like, why weren't you answering your phone? It's like, homie needed to recharge. Okay. Like I needed a time alone to eat a piece of cake and not think about anything. Okay. And sometimes, I'm pretty good about the pre-warning people when it's coming, but just like everybody else, I have my moments. Sometimes it's chaos and I don't realize I'm down and out until I realize it. And then I'm like, people will be okay without me for a day. And then bam, everybody and the brother's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. I'm just tired. That's why I love coffee. I am not sponsored by a coffee brand, but I should be. What is that one coffee brand? Death or whatever? That's the one I need to be sponsored by. Or some Nestle creamer, you know what I mean? Like somewhere in between that, or Dunkin', that would be cool.
That's good.
Dunk into your coffee. We could do that here on this channel. The funny thing is, I actually had somebody reach out to me in an email and was like, we'll give you $250 if you allow us to place an ad on your channel. And it's like, well, first off, what is your ad? What are you trying to reach with your demographic? Like, what are you looking to achieve? And, if we ever get chances like that, of course, I'm going to be, obvious about them here on this channel, because I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, guys, check out this, blah, 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 blah. And then, whatever. But I thought it was funny. I'm like, yeah, we could use that money for good, but realistically, what's it about? Like, you're giving me the minimal. I'm not going to throw that up here on the channel and bug all you guys. We don't know what it is, and I'm getting a bleak description. You know what I mean? A little blurb.
They're like,
we're trying to reach more people. 250.
We'll give you money.
Like, no, let's try again, my dear. Let's go a little bit more in depth.
And then I'd like to know how they get their ad on your thing.
It's one of those things where, like, either you do something talking about it, or they send you a video that you upload on your channel.
No.
It's one of those things. Another thing I've been doing in my spare time, which you all probably like, when's your spare time? Somewhere in between tired and I don't give a fuck. It's somewhere in between there, and that's just me being honest. I went stick picking a while back, and I started to work on some wands. And it's one of those things where, like, I've got them like sanded, some of them. I got them somewhat where I want, but I feel like there's more I need to add to them. So I'm not going to be displaying those anywhere, but I will let you guys know. July 16th, I will not be available to anyone for anything. It sounds like a song.
Anything.
For anything. Because I am going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm going to be watching the Rally of Voltaire while selling merch of my own stuff. Now, it sounds like that's not a break. But for me, that is a fucking break. I get to watch an awesome artist do his thing. Plus, I think he's got a new album he's working on. And I get to make money at an event and see really cool goth people. To me, that's like a triple whammy. And that to me is a break. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to be enjoying some nice tequila. And if you're at that show in Knoxville, Tennessee, and you want to buy me a drink, as long as it's got tequila and it tastes good, I accept. But ask first, because it's kind of weird if somebody's like, here, take a drink. And the next thing you know, you're flying high for the next 12 hours going, hey, my life decisions, let's talk to this tree. I'm not that kind of life, but, I'm going to enjoy myself nonetheless and have fun. I've also got another vendor that I am selling some of their merch as well. We've got some things coming in this week that I'm pretty excited about. This is like my own personal life bullshit, but I'm really excited about that. So, it's only up from there. And then we will be also at the Cincinnati Pagan Pride, or not Pagan Pride, Pagan Picnic, August 6th as well. But I'll be there as a vendor, not as the Devine Witch. I might have some of the Devine Witch stuff out just to kind of double network for the space that we acquired. But it's going to be more me just chilling and all that fun stuff, you know what I mean? And be like, look at my shinies. Yeah, basically. Woo. But other than that, it's pretty relaxing. You know what's bad is, like, in the beginning of the year, I had all these books I wanted to read, and I did a acquire some, and I did get through a lot of them. But there's like 3 books I haven't even started, and one that I'm like halfway through. And that's kind of been on my mind. So I think, when we go to Knoxville and after we get set up, I think I'm going to bring my book with me and read in between, when I'm not having sales or whatever. Maybe, who knows? Probably won't happen. I'll probably have it. It'll just be there for looks, you know what I mean? Like, how you gonna read when you got music and you want to shake the booty? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's a thought. I can't read when I'm going in a car. For some reason, it messes with me. It almost makes me want to get sick. And like how, like, when you're a kid, you would get real bad car sick and you're like, oh no. Yeah, that's kind of where I get when I have to read something and moving. It's like not a good thing. But that trip down there, 4 hours of nothing but trees. And you think that, man, we've been driving for a while. We should be there. And no, you're probably like a good hour in and you're like, God bless. Then you get out midway, stretch your feet, refuel for gas, and then back on the road again. Singing and dancing with all my friends. A nice 4-hour drive, but yeah. So that's basically where we're at. As you guys know, I'm a squirrel, so you're gonna get singing in between and randomness, but it's fun. It does come with it. Also, another thing that I'm adding to the list of things that I'm doing, there's a class that's going to be held here soon. And it's basically like on CD or magic. And I'm interested and curious to like what I learned versus what I've already know. You know what I mean? It's great to kind of be a student again and someone just go, read this, do this, come back. And me go, okay, that's easy. Tell me what to do. Direct me, and because sometimes it's nice to be directed instead of the one directing occasionally, Right now, my hubby is getting kisses from my Yodi. His kisses of doom, which I love having pugs, but come here, I need to clean your eye. Because underneath his eye, he gets that little watery stuff, you know what I mean? If you have pugs or if you've ever been around a dog that has like flappies, you got to clean around their eyes and stuff and make sure that, no bacteria and stuff. It's a little extra work, but he's worth it. He's a good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. But I think we've reached the part of this podcast where I'm a little bit winding down. Not saying I'm going to leave just yet, but as far as this channel, like I said, we're going to do some different podcasts and stuff like that. You guys will see an upload probably Monday for the Divine Feminine event, because I do kind of want to video capture that. Get the discussion, get what we talk about, so that way we can share it here. As far as numbers, I don't really care about numbers because I always see it like this: the people who are meant to be there will be the people that are there, and that's how it goes with any event. Like, you can project numbers, you can look at numbers, sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. So whoever joins us this weekend, it's meant to be. That's where they're meant to be at that moment. And that's how I see it. Like, even if you had a group as small as 6 people, which we've had before, it becomes more intimate and it becomes more one-on-one and just freedom to let go without feeling like, you're being held, holding yourself back, you know what I mean? Afraid to speak your mind, afraid to share your truth and just let it out. I've gotten to a point to where I'm like, I'm taking the moments to acknowledge how I feel in each and every moment, along with, looking at different perspectives, which I think, we try our best to do it, but sometimes we realize we're not doing as good as we want to be doing. So then we try to do better. And I think that's where I'm at daily and constantly. So when it comes to our final thought over here on this channel, that's kind of what it's about. Do check-ins with yourself. See where you're at in the moment. How do you really feel in that moment? That's kind of been the theme for the last couple times, but really it's one of those things where, like, if you feel like something needs to be said, say it, but choose your words wisely, because it could be a teachable moment for someone else because they've never had somebody actually take the time and put it in a way where they're not automatically offended. You know what I mean? And I think it's good to have that checks and balances, because sometimes we don't realize certain things that we do, certain things that we say, how it may be perceived versus what we're actually trying to put out there. And when we start having those conversations, we're able to grow ourselves, we're able to help others grow in their journey. And who knows, maybe something can flourish from that. So with that being said, always remember, no two witches witch alike. Till next time, blessed be.